So
Completely agree.
I'm just glad that my drug happens to be a lot of horsepower.
Dude, we joke about it.
This would be great. This is good. Is this your first time ever interviewing in a go-kart?
This is my first time doing a lot of things today. This is pretty cool.
So what are we doing? Vinny, what's going down?
I don't know. People want to hear you talk about something. I'm trying to get over the fact that I'm sitting in a go-kart about to do it.
I mean, I was kind of joking about sitting in these, but you're all
I mean, hey, there's no bad ideas around me.
So do you want to sit in this the whole time? Or?
What do you guys want? I love that they cannot respond to us right now, so.
All right, sitting in chairs. All
right, we're gonna do an introduction. So for those of you that don't know, this is Brad, Tire Slayer, Rubber Ripper, Pavement Layer, DeBerti. Over here.
That's a very long name.
Wasn't that your middle name?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I mean, I was reading online. I think Wikipedia has that as your name, so.
No, this is cool, man.
This is fun.
I'm glad you guys came out. I don't know what the whole plan is, so why don't you tell me what the plan is? Vinny's like, dude, I'm not telling you anything. He's like, well, I'm not telling you a word. We're just filming. I was like, all right, cool.
So we just got back from driving. He just drove the GT40. I'm sure Miller's gonna put a little clip here of us ripping right now.
This might be one of the best days ever.
So we're like on cloud 9 right now.
I'm gonna be on cloud 9 for the rest of probably a year.
Yeah, literally. I mean, childhood dream, freaking honored to ride with you in that car. Dan's probably watching right now, loving watching it do burnouts and him needing new tires likely.
Dan's probably like, what'd you guys break?
A lot of people watching this stuff right now, we've kind of gone into this format where we drive a car with you and then we just chat about your story a little bit. So what I want you to do, and we'll have plenty of fun, man. This would be awesome. I want you to kind of tell us how you started, what you do first of all, for those that don't know you, and then tell me your story. And then we'll just kind of get in a conversation.
I won't get too, because my story is very long.
Just no crying.
Yeah. I wish Vinny was my cousin.
we're brothers from another mother.
No, I mean, my story's super simple. I grew up super old school. So my dad, you know, growing up, my brother and I, we grew up in the shop. I didn't go to school. I was homeschooled. And my dad.
No wonder why you're so messed up.
Yeah, I know. Hey, if I have to spell anything or count out loud, you might as well count me out of that conversation. But if I get a build and stuff, that's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So my dad always said, hey, you know, if my brother and I being young, hey, you guys want a bike? You want these different things? I'm giving you two options. You either go work for it and buy it. He said, but you guys are so young. You know, obviously that you can't go work and make money. He said,
right.
So the second option is we have a shop. I have all the tools for you guys. You guys can build it. And
cool.
So that's what I grew up doing.
Brad built this. He's a real life MacGyver, man.
No, I mean, but that's kind of how I grew up. So it's, you know, I grew up with absolutely not one thing ever handed to me. In fact, you know, we've gone through tough times, just probably like, you know, most of the people out there throughout my childhood. But
been there.
You know, at the end of the day, our whole thing with my whole family is just to keep it fun always and just work hard. So like even today, you know, fast forward, I do a lot of different jobs today, but going throughout my childhood, we did everything as a family. So if we all went snowboarding, we all did it or we didn't do it. If we all went dirt bike riding, same thing. And that goes down the line. So I never really had the opportunity to be like, hey, Dad, you know, I want to race. My brother would be like, oh, okay. My dad would be like, oh, okay, Shane, do you want to race? No. Sandy, do you want to race? No. Okay, Brad, you're out. You know, we literally did everything together. Dude. And so
there's a lot to be said for that, though, because you're like best friends with your dad still. I mean,
and
like,
my brother, and my mom.
And he was just over here, probably show you, but your dad's hilarious.
Oh, he's a big kid.
Your guys' relationship is just epic.
Yeah, he is a big kid. So, and that's kind of how we were raised. So again, I never really had the opportunity to race and stuff. But what we did do is when, you know, being at the shop, we grew up with land in California, and we always had, you know, like more kind of like farm style life. So we had our own cows and things like that. And with that, we bought a tractor, and my dad would teach my brother and I how to run the tractor. So we built a motocross track, and that's all I did. Like everything outdoors. We were never allowed to have cell phones, video games. Mad all the time. Thankful now. Now I get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so fast forward, I just kind of started building vehicles with my dad, and we did a lot of crazy stuff. My dad invented a lot of things that are on like vehicles today. Like on the F-150s, you see like all the side vents, and on the F-250s, F-350s, F-450s, a lot of the Ford vehicles. My dad created a lot of parts on that, and just a lot of design things.
And you would probably be his right hand on a lot of stuff that he was working on.
I was there every step of the way.
So cool.
And my brother, and that's what was fun is like I told you, no lie, I was homeschooled to work in the shop. I mean, that's what we did. And so anyway,
Some people will say that's a hell of a lot more valuable these days than what's going on in schools.
I think so, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to raise my kids the same way.
Yeah.
So anyway, going forward, I don't know why I wanted to do this, but I was going full-time military. I mean, that's what I was doing. I've always I watched sniper shows, and I had a lot of friends that were in the service and stuff like that. So
Dad, are you going to the military? Brother, you going? Oh, I guess I guess we can't do it.
Well, my parents they got nervous because that's what I was doing.
Wow.
So after high school, I was already looking at what I was going to do, and that was what I was doing. And so anyway, just so happened I got an opportunity. My dad and we saw this commercial on TV, and it's these trucks flying through the air, like off big jumps. We're like, what the heck? It was this crazy off-road racing. It's short course. So we saw that, and my dad and I were like, let's fly there. When's the next thing? I was like, it's tomorrow. Let's go on.
Oh,
so we flew to Arizona.
No way.
And we watched these trucks flying through the air. We're like, oh my
How old were you when that happened?
I think 17 at the time.
Okay.
Might have been 18.
Okay.
But we saw these trucks flying. We're like, holy cow. At the time, my brother was older. He's 3 years older. So it's more like, now it's kind of, my brother's kind of doing his things. I was doing my thing. And so then we just fell in love with the sport. And we were walking through the parking lot, kind of the scenario I've seen with the car you brought. I'm like, oh, that thing's for sale? There was a truck sitting right there for sale.
Crazy.
For sale. I think it was a lot of money. I think it was like 60 grand. And so we couldn't afford it. So we went home, talked to my mom, pretty much sold everything but the house to buy this truck.
No way.
And my dad and I were just going full.
And you'd never raced before?
Never. So I don't even know if I could drive it.
What a cool dad, first of all, and mom.
Yeah.
Just being supportive of you being some crazy idea.
I was super thankful. Thankful. But again, growing up, it's if we were going to do something, we'd take it very seriously. It's not like, I want to do it. Let's do it when we have time.
And then it sits in the back of the garage and never. Yeah.
So we're very serious. So anyway, I hopped in this truck and we started practicing. First day, I went to the track. UTVs were flying by me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this because it was something I've never done.
Was this just kind of like an open track day, or was it like an actual race?
Yeah, practice track day. They were having a race, and I opted out. Because I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable. Anyway, fast forward, not to get too long story. My dad and I, we went to the track every weekend for a few months, and just him and we'd just bring the barbecue. We'd practice, stop, hang out, have some food.
So cool.
Hang out together, just keep going, practicing. And then I met a few guys in the industry. One of them, his name is Ken Johnson. You know Ken. Mm-hmm. And Ken's like, dude, you got to race.
Dude, he told me the most epic story when he was here with Sean.
Oh, he did?
Oh, it was epic of how you got in, but he told it from his perspective. So I'm really curious to see how what your take on that's going to be.
Yeah, so he's all, dude, just come race the regionals. I'm like, all right, well, I need to start somewhere, And so at the regional series, all the pros come and race the regional because they don't have to pay for a test day.
Right.
So they race the race, but it's more practice for them for the national series. So not all, but a large amount of the pros were there and stuff. And so I raced my first race, and I got third place. So I podiumed.
You're like, hey guys, I'm here to race. I don't know what I'm doing.
And really, the truck I had was
not compared to what they had brought.
Oh, not even.
You're talking probably multi-millions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
They had, right?
Yeah.
Full race teams.
These are Monster Energy guys, Red Bull, all the big.
And wasn't it just you and your dad, and you guys were like the pit crew as well?
That's it. Well, because I grew up building cars, so prepping a vehicle is easy for me.
Right.
I mean, I had to relearn some stuff. You know, I had to relearn how to, you know, Magnaflux things, repack bearings. I mean, there's a lot I had to learn that was outside of the spectrum of what I was used to. But prepping a truck, these guys are paying $50,000 a race for someone to get it ready.
This is one of the reasons I'm only cutting you off right now, because this is why a lot of these younger guys watch what we're doing, because they think that you probably started with like some multi-gazillion-dollar company that was like, hey man, we're just gonna back him. He's just free reign, go out there. Like, you're literally grassroots, like, holy shit, we have to change our entire life as a family to afford a truck, when you don't even know if this is gonna end up being what you do, or that you're gonna be successful at it, right?
100%, and the way we looked at it is, all right, if it didn't work out, we'll fix up the truck and make it cool and resell it and make money on it.
And make a little money, right.
And then get back to what we were doing, you know?
So crazy. Okay, so keep going.
So anyway, so I raced 2 more races after that in the regional series and podiumed every one of them. And Ken comes up to me, and Ken's like, dude, go to the nationals. I'm like, Ken, do you see that? No. There's a time in racing, and this is in all racing, to where your equipment has to withstand what everyone else has.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might as well be okay with not winning. And I know that probably sounds funny for people watching, but it's difference of $1 million and 50,000.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So we understood that we needed to change vehicles. I needed to get a vehicle because I didn't have the experience. I need to get a vehicle that has already had the kinks worked out, some things I don't have to keep reinventing, because these guys have been racing their whole life.
By the way, we kind of slighted over it, but if you heard what he said, he won all the races.
Well, I podiumed.
Oh, you podiumed.
So
but still, I consider that, a win, huge win.
Yeah, I got 3 third places my first 3 races.
But it's against. I mean, look who was there.
It's the big dogs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that's a win, because you're like, they're like, who is this guy?
We're definitely on cloud 9, and everyone was mad at the races because we're all happy.
See, this is the saddest story I heard, where it was like, from the sidelines, he was like, who is this kid? Everyone was asking, coming up to Ken, like, who is this guy? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So anyway, I had to throw that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a high. It's probably some of the best times of my life. But anyway, so fast forward, we sold the truck, and we're like, all right, before we do something like that, we need to get a good truck. And so a friend of a friend is very good friends with Brian Deegan.
Yeah.
Insanely
they're around here, right?
Motocross rider. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he was selling his Pro Light. He was getting out of it. And so we're like, all right, well, we meet him, super nice guy, and we're like, how much? And it was twice the price of my truck.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah. And that's still good for what the trucks normally cost, right?
Yeah.
The time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was expensive. And so that was without the spares to operate. So then we the spares are just as much as the truck. Because you got axles, rear ends, motor, transmission. I mean, you name it, radiators, A-arms, like
you can basically rebuild the entire truck
whole thing,
at the
4
racetrack.
times,
Yeah, okay.
So we ended up.
Holy cow.
We ended up buying it all very uncomfortably. But again, if we're getting in it, we're 2 feet in and we're going. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play around with the regionals for a little bit. And just because I don't have the experience of passing, like, I podiumed a few times, but I didn't have the experience of truly racing. Racing and leading a race are 2 different things.
Okay.
Ken Johnson and Brian Deegan were like, dude, you're racing the national coming up. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready. They're like, you're racing it. Like, your times are there. You've got to go race.
Wow.
And so here we go. First national comes up. I'm nervous.
I was going to say, how intimidating was that?
Well, at the time, there was like 48 trucks, and only like 35 won't even qualify. So it's just like motocross. Like if you don't make the show, you're out.
Wow.
So you could go spend thousands of dollars and not even race. So my first race, it was just a crazy time. I went out and qualified first. And everyone's like, what? It's a fluke, it's just qualifying.
I did hear this story, yeah.
They're like, let's wait till the race. And so they do an inversion, which I don't love, but they happen to not re-invert me to the back. A lot of times you get inverted to the back.
Okay, you got to fight your way up again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I started in the position I qualified, which was
wow.
first. Long story short, that first race, and keep in mind, I had 0 sponsors because I had no race experience in my whole life. The biggest sticker I put on the truck, which what I was going to do anyway, is a giant American flag that says support our troops.
Oh, dude, I love it.
It's on all of our
And
vehicles.
you're still that to this day.
To this day.
Yeah,
it's the biggest
you
thing.
and your dad are so on that.
So then my dad put all these logos on there, tire sponsor, wheel sponsor, all this stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, because you guys were trying to get sponsors, though, right?
We were
You
trying
had
to-
none. You were trying. They were laughing at you, like, who's this guy?
Yeah, it'd be like,
Yeah.
you know, anyone watching being like, hey, I'm gonna go race. Will you guys sponsor me?
Yeah. Because this was before the race. This was before you took first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have no race experience. No one knows me. So my dad's putting all these stickers on the car. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, just trust me. If you do good, these guys are gonna help us. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, it's.
Well, you also gave him free press.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
We go out.
You added value from day one.
Oh yeah, we go out and I won by 7 seconds.
Holy
And I'm talking,
cow.
these are like, this is like NASCAR level. This is full nationals. This is just
Whoa.
off-road truck version. Like all the big guys. So now it's like, you know, I have no experience, and then all of a sudden I win by this much, and everyone's like, even Ken's like, I remember driving up the podium and Ken's like, and it was just.
I feel like I remember Ken mentioning like the sponsors coming out of the
Oh,
stands, like.
oh, God.
Which is.
Okay. No, okay, here's Brad No Name up there, right? No, literally no one even knows me.
Yeah.
I have just all these people around me. And you would think that they were just sponsors that I've had my whole life.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, what the heck, you know? And so anyway, long story short, that night at our awning was crazy. There was hundreds of people, hundreds. In fact, the second place guy, which is a very, very known racer, his name's RJ Anderson.
Yep.
He's all, I don't even know who Brad is, on his interview. He literally said that. I mean, no one knew who I was. So second day comes around, I qualify first. And everyone's like, this kid's a cheater, you know, like going through.
Yeah.
And then they invert me. So now I'm mid-pack.
Now you got to do some real
and
work.
everyone's talking, oh, dude, that was just a fluke thing.
done,
He was
yeah.
out front. That race I won by like 7.5 seconds.
What?
I came through the pack, you know, somehow, some way, you know, it's just crazy. I don't even remember the race. It was just wild. But I come back through and I just smoke everyone again. And everyone's like, no way. Anyway, long story short, that's how my racing career started.
So did you think you had a few sponsors after that?
Oh, it was like, it was Christmas, dude. I was tires, wheels, I mean, you name it. It was really cool because really we didn't have the means to be there. And my dad put all the stickers on the cars.
Dude, how cool.
Literally, that's how my whole career started.
That's unreal. So a lot of what some of the other guys have said, and a lot of the group we hang out with all these guys that have built businesses, it works the same way. Sometimes you just go all in, you just keep going, you find something you're good at, right? You're obviously good at driving. I'm good at raising money. I don't know. Everyone's got this little different talent, and then you put in all the work, and eventually someone's gonna notice.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's life changing at that moment. Like you guys were probably like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, changed my life, 100%. And the best part is, I couldn't even afford tires on the truck. So the first 2 races,
What?
I bought tires. You could ask Brian Deacon to this day. I bought tires off Brian half price that were just knobbied out, like that were just destroyed.
You won the race on
used tires.
knocked out tires.
Oh yeah. And then everyone's over there looking at my grooving on my tires. They're like, and it's like grooving from last year. Like I don't even know what track was on.
I bet after that day you've never paid for tires again.
No. Never. No, it did a change. It was like an overnight.
Oh,
kinda
cool.
crazy.
So you can get me some tires for Dan on his GT40 after that wild ride we did.
Hey, as long as Dan lets me drive it once a week, I'm in. No, but that's how it started. So anyway, I raced a bunch.
Incredible.
Been racing ever since. You know, won a championship, did a bunch of stuff. Had a really bad crash that almost killed me. I rolled 7 times in Mexico. Just a lot of just normal race stories that I would just bore you guys with for hours.
That sounds pretty cool. Not the part where you almost died,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
holy crap, dude.
Just a lot of race. I mean, I've raced hundreds and hundreds of races in my life. So my last year at racing, I raced 4 different classes. So I raced almost 100 times in 1 year. I was racing so much.
I'm getting nauseous just thinking about it.
Yeah. But anyway, fast forward. Then we're
Dang.
starting to build vehicle. We took a break from vehicles because we were racing.
Yeah.
That was a full-time job. So we start building vehicles again, and we built the first Gen 2 Raptor that ever came out. We did a crazy off-road truck and built our own fenders, like kind of crazy. Discovery Channel recognized us at SEMA, and I had a conversation with them. They're all, oh, we'll get back to you in like 9 months or whatever. I said, all right, whatever.
Cool. Yeah,
I
whatever.
didn't even know who it even was.
Yeah.
An hour later, my phone's getting blown up. Hey, can you meet the you know, our director of this, that over at your truck? I'm like, yeah. So I'm talking to him, you know, and my dad's hanging out with, at the time it was the producer of Diesel Brothers.
Okay,
and the Diesel Brothers producers, I'll see how Brad's like explaining that truck to all these people. Right? They don't even know what he's talking about, but he could see it and is like dumbing it down. And anyway, that turned into our own TV show for 3 years.
How cool is that?
On Discovery Channel. That was awesome.
I'm sure there's some of you that have seen it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was called Twin Turbos, just with my dad and I. And then that went to Motor Trend Show for 2 years. We did a few seasons in there. And anyway, we're back to kind of just doing YouTube stuff. When COVID happened, it shut down a lot of stuff.
Yep.
So now we're just doing the same exact thing. I'm not racing as much because it's just expensive, you know. And the off-road racing really died. Unfortunately, I think it should be. I mean, if I took you an off-road race tomorrow, you might be selling one of the GTs.
Yeah, I bet. Miller gave me a ride in his side-by-side, and I was like, what is this piece of awesome? Hey, babe, I'm selling a couple things, and we're gonna swap out. It
doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Kind of fast forward. That's basically it. I have multiple jobs. I kind of like you in a way. I do a lot of construction. So my dad and I, we remodel a lot of houses, do a lot of commercial things, and I do all my own social media, YouTube stuff. I film everything. Unfortunately, I hate it. It's so much work to film and edit.
I'm learning that it's so much work.
It's a lot.
You need Miller.
Oh,
Vince.
he's been helping me.
Yeah,
and it's been nice. But you know, a lot of times I kind of show up to a lot of different things, and if I get calls a lot to go just race things. I skipped over a bunch, but I've done rallycross. So like with the whole Travis Pastrana thing.
Yep.
Did those cars for a long time. I podiumed a lot in those cars as well. And
so cool.
A lot of different racing. Drifting. I built the Tacoma and the Silverado to drift. Those are really fun trucks.
And he's gonna put some footage here, but you can really rip those cars.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just like doing donuts and that. You know, it's same thing.
It's a blast, dude.
Oh,
it's a blast.
When you're burning tires,
yeah,
it's the best feeling ever.
Hey, listen, I was a jet pilot for a while, and I've flown a lot of different airplanes. Yeah, I used to fly for the airlines. I don't make this about me, but I didn't know if you knew that or not.
No.
Yeah, so I've flown a lot of different planes, and I've done loops and all sorts of stuff. But I got to tell you something.
Like a flip?
All sorts of stuff. Oh yeah. I've been flying since I was 15 years old, and I'm 41. Yeah. So, but
I did not know that.
There's something different about burning tires. I don't know what it is. Planes are awesome and it's fun, but when you can take the right car and you're in control and you become that car, like that GT40, a little bit, just even that's like the ultimate.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. So I watched your stuff when you're doing this, like when Autotopia LA was here and you ripped this. I don't know how you did it with 6 tires, by the way, but I was standing there filming you rip that thing, and I was just like smile ear to ear. I was like, this is awesome, you know?
Oh yeah, that's fun. There's nothing like it. I mean.
Yeah, so going back real quick with some of the other things on the channel, like we're talking to a guy like me and these other guys I'm interviewing, where we came from nothing, dude. We had to figure it out, right? No one was writing a check, but it shows them that they can do it too, but they got to not be afraid to just go all in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, really, unfortunately, I get really frustrated in this. I call it like the work ethic syndrome. I feel like people don't want to work anymore, and my wife gets mad at me because I'll go, I don't care if someone's making me a taco at Taco Bell. If I go in there and they make the taco and don't give any care to it, I'm like, dude, who cares what you're making? Make it, for money.
Make the taco.
Make the taco the best you could do it, as long as you're there. I don't care if you're making thousands of dollars an hour. I think that, work ethic's just kind of, in my opinion, been lost a lot.
Everyone wants to do the make it quick, social media, I want to go viral, I want to do this, I want to do that. But even what I'm experiencing right now is building this YouTube channel, and the platform is so much, dude, it's a full-time job.
Full-time.
I've built multiple successful businesses. This is that all over again. I feel like I'm going to spend the next decade, and like you said, all in, just fully committing. We got Miller and Vince here today. Like, we're just going. And if it goes somewhere, great. Maybe it was good shit. If not, you try a different path. And these young 20-somethings that aren't putting any effort in, if they would just put in effort for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, dude, they'd be living like no one else.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
Because
I agree.
a guy like you will notice that person. I've noticed people out in public and
Hire
been
them.
like, hey man, do you want a job?
That's what it's
that
about.
work ethic, I'm gonna hire you. Dude, I beat my youngest brother over the head with this for years and years and years. And he finally got it. And now he's seeing some success because he's finally putting in the work in the right areas of his life to grow himself.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude, there's no competition anymore for that.
Yeah.
So it's never been easier to get noticed.
Yeah. No,
Like
I
you're
know.
saying.
I know.
We could talk about this for like a freaking hour.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, my thing is I'm not some successful, crazy big name or anything. All my stuff has a different value. So like we were messing around talking about the GT. You're like, well, your cars, and yeah, they do hold similar values and things. But this is like a hand-built item, so it's different. But anyone that is out there wanting to have something like the GT, anyone could have it. It just takes work.
And it takes the 20 years that they don't see to get that.
100%. I want that right now. I'm like, oh, wait.
But what it also does is you see something like that, you drive it, you're like, holy
motivation.
shit, I want this. Man, I'm gonna go make 20 more episodes now
Yeah.
and try to find some sponsors to come. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it motivates you to go do the work that's required to actually achieve that thing.
Oh, it's big motivation, man.
Yeah.
I'm motivated talking with you. I mean, you're obviously a successful businessman, and I love talking with successful people. They say you are who you surround yourself around.
You nailed it.
And I couldn't agree to that more, because you surround yourself against, a bunch of druggies or whatever, you're probably gonna be a druggie eventually.
I've had friends go down that path that I grew up with.
I know.
And they
I
just
have
got
too.
stuck in the wrong stuff.
No, I think your channel and my channel, I think, a lot of people are going to start seeing us together, because it's just like we said earlier, it's fun to be around people that are driven. People
Yeah,
that
totally agree.
Even if I have some friends that don't have a dollar, and that's fine, as long as they're driven and have a goal. It's the same exact thing. Like, you don't have to have a lot of money. Like, you could have nothing, and as long as your mindset's the same, it's the same exact thing.
And like you said, surrounding yourself with good people. But like your buddy, remember we saw each other randomly. It was downtown Mooresville for the Murdo Mate event, the Throttle Thursdays. Yep. And we went down. It was your birthday. We're partying. Your best buddy is down here with his wife, and she was trying to get into real estate. So I just think the world of you. So obviously right away I'm like, okay, just what do you want to do? Do you want to do residential? Do you want to do commercial? Okay, cool. Call this person, just say, and now she's working for him.
Oh, really?
No, did you not know
did
that?
not know that.
Yeah, dude, she's been working for Desiree. She's like my right hand. She's my commercial realtor.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, she's been working in her office now for almost a month.
That's cool.
But that's what's so cool about having these relationships, and that's what we've been preaching to them. Is it's all about who you surround yourself with.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not trying to take credit for anything. It's just like you want to help good people.
Oh, well, it's good people, I feel like, are always, on the same page, no matter what it is.
Yep.
So
Completely agree.
I'm just glad that my drug happens to be a lot of horsepower.
Dude, we joke about it.
Another thing we didn't really touch on is, we've been really big into SEMA and battling at SEMA. So that's been a really cool.
You guys going this year?
I'm attending with, this truck will be there, but
Okay, cool.
This is my first time since I started racing that I will not be building something.
I think I know what you're bringing next year.
I don't
Your
think you
dad
do.
fully. Oh no, you're not going to bring that one?
Oh, no.
Miller's back there pointing.
The Lincoln will probably be there, but my main focus this year for 2025 is a crazy boat.
Oh. All right, more on that later. That's the tease.
Yeah, I've never built something marine style, and I'm
Totally going to sink.
Yeah, I build a boat and then I forget to put the drain plug in.
Yeah.
But no, the SEMA show, that's been a part of my life since I've been a kid.
That's awesome.
Actually, I was there so young that they wouldn't let me in because how young I was. So my dad would have to sneak me in SEMA and stuff. When we go to SEMA, we're competing against the best in the world.
Yeah, you are.
And so that's been fun. With
Something
my
you're
dad.
not used to.
It's just different. It's a whole different ball game,
Yeah.
But my dad and I, we've done some really cool things at SEMA, so it's fun when you're competing against Chip Foose and all the big boys.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And you're putting together a product that can compete too.
Yeah, we have 13 best of shows.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you got a ton of cars that have now gotten picked up on video games.
Yeah, there's about 2 million people that just drive this truck alone in Forza a month.
It's insane. And your Tacoma too, right?
Same thing. That one's up there as well. The van's coming out. I can't talk about this one.
No one's gonna be able to drive that like I saw your dad drive that in your driveway. Ripping that.
But yeah, we have 9 vehicles in Forza. That's been cool. I mean, if you think about it, at least 1 million people are driving the vehicles, each vehicle a month.
Bro, you went from like we all do stuff together to I'm gonna buy this little truck to now people are driving your cars in Forza.
It's wild.
Well, man, thanks for. I think that's. I'm speechless. It was great sitting here talking to you.
I'm speechless that you were a pilot.
Episode number 2. Cut. No.
Man,
Cool.
thank you for. I was just about to say thanks for having me out, but thanks for coming over.
I love it, dude. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for doing this and tune in. If you haven't watched the episode yet of him ripping in the GT40, go back and check it out.
You guys have a blessed day. Thank you.
And go check out his channel because he's got more GT40 footage over there now.
He's actually leaving the GT40 here when he leaves. So
Yeah, Dan,
thanks,
we're leaving
guys.
it here. We didn't tell you that.
We don't have to tell him.
All right.
Insurance will get it.
Peace.
Later.
See ya.
You know, just casually driving down the road. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Today, we're gonna go under a semi.